Hey, this is Shaun with the Go Tennis Podcast, powered by Signature Tennis. Check out our calendar of Metro Atlanta tennis events at letsgotennis.com. And if you're a fan of Bull Shark Sports, go to shop.letsgotennis.com and get yourself a hoodie or a hat. And this episode, being right before Christmas, it's a great time to look for our holiday sales for those Bull Shark Sports hoodies with Santa hats, as well as what we're going to talk about today. This is Youth Sports Talk with Coach Ben Hestley. Today, Coach Ben wants to talk about giving functional gifts to the kids, and he has a few ideas. Ben, you ready to talk youth sports?
Yeah, let's dive into it.
All right, today, Coach Ben wants to talk about gift giving for softball and baseball specifically. Ben, where do you want to start?
Let's jump right into it. So we did the gift giving ideas for tennis, and today we're gonna do baseball and softball. So I don't see any way to start other than with one of my favorite tools. And by the way, just like last week, these will be tools that I might use in my coaching practices and lessons, but stuff you can also use at home and on your own as well, just like we did for tennis. So the first one right out of the gate that I love is by Driveline, and it's called the Mini Hitting Plyo. It's a purple ball. It's a very small purple ball that is used to train hitting. And one of the reasons I love this ball, and a lot of people think when you think plyo balls, they're heavier than a standard baseball or softball. And so a lot of people immediately go to the strength side and think, oh, I'm going to hit this heavier ball. It's going to make me stronger. And it will to some degree, but the main premise behind the purple plyo is that it provides instant feedback. So one thing I love it's a rubber ball. It's filled with sand. It weighs about 7 ounces. I think a baseball weighs it 5 ounces.
Okay.
So slightly heavier, but a lot smaller, and it really helps train those bat to ball skills. And
What do you mean by instant feedback?
okay, yeah, thanks. So as I like to tell the kids, and I say a lot nicer than I'm going to say it here. If you suck at hitting, the purple plyo makes it extremely obvious. So what'll happen is
Okay.
what'll happen is your bat goes in and makes contact with the ball. If you miss hit it a little bit, like if you hit it off to the side or underneath or over the top, it'll what we call waffle. It'll literally turn into a pancake and just kind of spin like this and go nowhere. If you hit it, what we call in baseball and softball, flush, so you really hit it flush, the ball will stay at its same round shape, the same round ball shape, and fly outward into the field or wherever it is, or net or wherever it is you're hitting. So the kids, when they're hitting these balls, it becomes really obvious if you hit it well or you didn't hit it well. Compared to other balls, like a lot of coaches will practice with wiffle balls. And not that that's necessarily bad, but sometimes a wiffle ball, you hit a wiffle ball and you feel like you really hit it well. But if you take a slow mo video and see it, it shows that you really didn't catch that ball flush. But because the wiffle ball is so light, it flies through the air and it really goes unnoticed that you truly did not hit that well.
Like me on the driving range when I'm on the mats instead of the actual grass. I'm really good off a mat, right? That kind of concept.
Yeah. Or you're hitting the wiffles, like you're hitting the little plastic wiffle ball golf
Uh-huh.
balls. Cannot really give you a good indication of how well you hit that
But it's
ball.
great for my self-esteem.
Right, exactly. So the purple plyo helps tremendously with that, and it's one of my favorites. It is a bit pricey. It's you get 6 balls, order them from Driveline or you can get them on Amazon. You 6 balls for about $40, which seems really steep, but I'm going to tell parents
What's a
out
what's a baseball cost? Like what's it compared to just buying a baseball?
baseball is about three or somewhere between $3 and $5, depending on
So
what style ball.
you could spend for a good baseball $30 for six.
Yeah.
And this is $40 for six, and it's a training utility. Okay, that's reasonable, I think.
I'm glad you're reasonable, Shaun.
Thank you. Thank you.
Some people will immediately go, okay, Driveline's charging $40. I'm gonna try to find the knockoff
Uh-huh.
for less than that, for half of that, a third of that. I'm gonna urge parents not to do that. There is nothing out there like the purple mini hitting plyo for bat to ball skills and how to make good, clean contact consistently. So don't try to go find the knockoff. There's not a knockoff for this plyo, in my opinion. I've tried to find cheaper, off-brand plyometric balls, and it just doesn't work. I always go back to the drive line. Always go back to it. So that's number one. the purple ball, we call it, because it's purple, mini hitting plyo from Driveline. The second one that I want to talk about, and I'm excited that Driveline finally made this ball in a softball size. So for the past year or so, the Smash Factor ball was only available in baseball. Now they've come out with it available for softball players. So the Smash Factor ball is a foam ball, and it's a foam ball, but it's not soft like some foam balls. Like it's really firm,
Okay.
and so when you squeeze it, you feel like it's pretty firm, but it's still soft. So if it hits you or whatever, it's not going to hurt. Originally, the Smash Factor was created to so players could work on high speeds from pitching machines. If you ever try to hit Shaun, an 80 or 90-mile-an-hour fastball baseball out of a pitching machine, it really hurts your hands when you make contact. So the smash factor was created to alleviate that, and players could hit through the ball, they get more swings in, because eventually you start hitting this baseball over and over at high speeds. It hurts your hands, it makes you tired, you can't practice as long. So it was a way to combat that, where you don't get the sting that you do with a baseball or softball, and you don't get as fatigued because you're not hitting a ball that's as heavy as a baseball or softball. So you can practice for a lot longer. I found the smash factor to be very valuable for young kids for similar reasons. A lot of kids that I coach, they fail to swing through the ball when they're hitting. And the reason they fail to swing through the ball is because of the fear of the sting. And if you've ever hit a baseball and you don't hit it really well, which often young players don't hit it really well because they're young and they're learning, it can really sting your hands. So they know that and they're afraid of that. And so they let as they go to swing towards the ball, they'll start slowing themselves down, thinking common sense, hey, if I slow down, it's not going to hurt as much. Or the other thing is that they've had a parent scream at them to just make contact. So if I'm trying to just make contact, what do you think I'm going to do with my swing?
I'm hesitating and holding
I'm
back.
gonna
Yep.
I'm gonna slow it down so I make sure I just make contact. We don't want that in baseball and softball. We want you swinging that bat fast and trying to hit that ball as hard as possible. So again, for young kids, the smash factor, sponge ball takes away that fear factor that they have to deal with when hitting a real baseball or softball. So that's why I really like the smash factor. I've also used it for the same reason on teaching kids how to field ground balls, because a ground ball, it's rolling across the ground pretty fast. It may be bouncing a little bit, and kids are scared to get hit with the ball. So you roll them or hit them. Smash factor takes that fear factor away.
And they look to be about $5 each, so we're still in range there as well. Get a dozen of these, and we'll put all the links in the show notes if anybody wants to check these out, of course. But yeah, these look good. It's not exactly the same as a pressureless ball for tennis, but a similar concept. Let's make something last a little bit longer, make it just a little bit softer, a little less abrasive, and make the kids let the kids train a lot longer. I like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And if you do have a pitching machine or available, have the availability to use a pitching machine, the smash factor ball is great because from a durability standpoint, it won't wear down as fast as a traditional baseball or softball. A lot of times, if you get these pitching machines, the wheels of the machine kind of wear on the seams of the ball and start wearing down the leather and the seams of a real baseball or softball.
Mm-hmm.
Smash factor, it doesn't do that. So you can use these balls for a lot longer through a pitching machine than you could with a regular baseball or softball.
Got it. I appreciate it. What's next?
Marucci training bat. I found this last year, and it is one of my favorites. I mentioned this way back when in a prior episode. I think we are talking about training tools,
Uh-huh.
and I found this last year on MarucciSports.com. So Marucci makes baseball gloves, baseball bats, and all kinds of stuff. But it's a stick, so it's a really skinny wooden stick, weighs about 10 to 12 ounces, but it is absolutely perfect to handle, or sorry, to train kids on what we call bat to ball skills, or you might just call hand-eye coordination skills. So you can't use a real baseball with it because it's a skinny wooden stick, but you can use wiffle balls. We use tennis balls. We use the smash factor balls a lot with it. But
Why can't I use a baseball with it? Because it's a
well,
skinny wooden stick.
It's a little stick. So think broomstick size.
Right.
It'll hurt your hands first of all, and secondly, with hitting with a real baseball or softball, depending on, of course, how fast the ball's pitched, it could break the bat because the
Okay.
bat's super
It's
strong.
not made for that. Okay.
It's not made for that.
Got it.
But it's $30, completely customizable on Marucci's website.
They got some cool pictures of the
Yeah, I mean,
colors. I can get a pink one, and yeah,
yeah, I mean, whatever. So you get my daughter has a pink one.
yeah.
My son has like the smoke gray that's kind of has like the burn in on the wood. It looks super sharp.
Uh
So
huh.
and then it's really cool. So all you'll need to add is a grip. The handle's pretty slippery, especially if you get some of those that are kind of have the a polyurethane finish on them. The grip can be super slick. So you may want to put an actual tennis or baseball bat grip on there, and it's great. It's best tool. Kids love it. And it's just a really fun tool. And for $30, I mean that you cannot beat the price of a training tool for $30.
Yeah, I know tennis has something similar, and I'm pretty sure it's not $30. So this is, it
Yeah,
looks cool as well. It looks like a little baseball bat. It isn't just grabbing a stick out of the woods
yeah. And
like we have we
yeah,
did.
this is your wooden spoon thing, Sean. That you
Exactly.
like to use it to practice tennis, but it's just really souped up and customized, and you can create all kinds of stuff with it. So
And
it's
I'll
a
bet similar to the plyo balls. I'm betting that if you hit it wrong, it doesn't work.
I mean, I have kids who, I'll never, a quick story, working with a girl last year, I I have the training bat, I use it, and I'll tell you, into the practice session, you're gonna use the training stick, and we call it the stick bat, and they always call all the kids call it stick bat. So she's practicing with it. I'm pitching to her the smash factor balls, and she's whiffing them. She's absolutely whiffing them. And the dad over there, he's going nuts. Like he's just living and dying on every swing. I can see him fuming, right? But she's super into it. Even though she's quote failing, she's super into it and recognizing this is super hard to
Hmm.
do, to hit a ball with this little stick. And she finally hit after probably 10, 15 swing and whiffs, man. I'm talking about swing and miss. She finally hits one flush and it goes flying, and she's so elated, and it was like, this is great. So the kids are going to recognize it's challenging to hit with this stick bat, but they love it. They love the challenge of it. So anyways, let's move on. But another reason I love this bat so
A
much.
good bet for testing the mindset of a child, right? Are you
Yeah,
growth
absolutely.
mindset or fixed, right?
Yeah.
All
um
right. What's next?
so along the lines, and all these things were mentioned today are going to help sort of organically help. I mean, there's some coaching involved, of course, but they're going to help the player get better. And one of the best bats that I've found over the years that help players with their swing is the camwood bat. So the camwood is they do make actual wooden game bats. You could use in a wood bat game if you had one. But the camwood, the interesting thing about the camwood is the weight that they put on the bat. So it's a heavier bat than they're used to. So it really helps develop some strength and things like that. But also the way the bat's placed. A lot of kids, when you just go buy I'm going to get a heavier bat so my kid can practice swinging a heavier bat, get them stronger, whatever. Well, a lot of those bats, the weight is geared towards the barrel, the fat part, which is on the end. And so it really, think about swinging a hammer, like a sledgehammer. So it can really break down the mechanics swing with that kind of bat. So what Camwood developed years ago is a heavy bat, but they push all the weight down towards the handle. So you'll notice on the Camwood bats, there's like this huge bubble, I call it, in the middle of the bat,
It's
right
a
above
funny
the
looking
hand.
stick.
And there's one that's actually called the puck knob. So it's like a hockey puck that sits on the bottom. So you got weight above and weight right below your hands. And what that helps the kid to do is just to deliver a much smoother, cleaner bat path without really having to do a whole lot of coaching. The Camwood kind of plays as a constraint to help them create a proper bat path. I found it with kids, it helps them rotate much more effectively because the bat just kind of carries them forward and helps their rotation when they're swinging a bat. The other cool thing about it is the barrel is smaller than a standard game bat. So here we go again. You're getting an added bonus with the Camwood. The barrel is smaller, so it's more difficult to hit flush contact with a ball. So there you go. You're going to get some bat to ball skills as well as some good swing mechanics using the camwood.
And you say it's a little bit heavier. It says here it's 36 ounces. What's a typical baseball bat?
So that one that I showed you is
Mhm.
30. So it's a 30-inch bat, I think.
Yep.
30 inch. Um, so a 30-inch bat could be anywhere from we call a drop 10 to a drop 5. So you may have a 30-inch bat might be 25 to 20 to 25 ounces. So
Okay.
you got to think this one's what, 36?
Yeah.
So
That's
significantly
a bit
heavier,
heavier.
a good bit heavier.
Mhm.
However, if you've ever swung one, think about where the weight is distributed. The weight's distributed all near the handle.
Mm.
So think about in tennis, a headlight racket. It can be heavier, but to swing it, it's going to be much easier than some of those hammer. Remember they literally called the Wilson hammer rackets where
Yeah.
all the weight's pushed out to the end. A little bit lighter racket, however, the weight's so far away from your body, it's really hard to swing. So it's the same concept for a baseball bat. So for a training bat, if you're using a heavy bat, my recommendation is make sure that weight is pushed towards the hands so you don't get a big long swing. You keep the swing nice and short and let the body help rotate the bat forward.
Got it. And this one's a little more expensive at $99,
It's
but
$100, but if
yeah,
you think about what you spend on a regular game bat and compared to some of the other training bats out there, I really think the price is super reasonable.
makes sense. I got it. All right. We got two more.
All right, so now moving into some balls that are going to be fun, help you with catch play. First, we'll talk about the Swax ball.
Hmm.
I love the Swax ball. I knew nothing about the Swax ball until my daughter's softball team last spring. The coach is a good friend of mine, Todd Foreman, who showed it to us, and he actually did something cool I've never seen a rec coach do. Is he gave all the girls a gift, and the gift was the Swax ball. So he bought a Swax ball for every girl on the team. So that was their kind of end of season gift. They used them a lot in practice. Todd would always bring a bunch of out to practice. And I was helping him with some of the practices. And immediately, what I liked about the Swax ball was the design of it. So it looks like a softball. They make them for baseball as well, but it looks like a softball. It's yellow in color. It's got the seams paint on it, but it's this nice firm leather material, and it's kind of like it's sewn. The pieces of it are sewn. I think about like a soccer ball. How you
Hmm.
got the little what, hexagon shapes or whatever. So
Hmm.
they're all kind of sewn together. So something about that design makes it super easy to hold in your hand. It's softer than a regular softball. So again, if you get hit on accident, it's not going to hurt you. But what I really loved about it with him teaching the girls how to catch with their glove is the material of it. It kind of sticks in your glove. Like when you throw it, sometimes a baseball or softball can pop out of your glove if you're not good at squeezing it. This ball, the leather was kind of, it's very tacky, and so when it hits the glove, it like almost like sticks in there, like stick them. And I'm like, so it gave the girls a lot of confidence to catch the ball. It's a super good ball. It's again, it's softer, so it feels and weighs the same as a softball, but it's just a lot safer and gives the kids a lot more confidence, especially when they're learning how to catch the ball with the glove, which is one of the most challenging things for a young softball or baseball player to learn.
Sure. And what does a typical softball cost? These look like they're about $10 each.
$5,
Okay.
somewhere in
So
the
it's
neighborhood.
twice as much as a typical
$5.
softball if I were just to buy a softball.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And in this case, focused on the training again, meaning we know we're spending money on a specific product. It's going to be different from
yeah,
buying a regular softball. And in this case, it looks like it's going to do exactly what you say. It gives me a chance to actually catch it a little bit softer, and I appreciate this. It's a modern trend. Tennis started doing it back in the late 2000s, where we found the softer balls for the kids. Take a little bit of the fear out of it. Say, hey, look, if
yeah,
you catch it with your face, it's not going to be that bad, and we can actually have a little bit more fun and a little bit more relaxed atmosphere with products like this.
yeah. I mean, safety's number one, right? I mean, we've said it before. If you go out in the backyard and play catch with your kid and you throw a hard baseball and hits them in the face, their career's over, right? So we want to
They
make
don't want
sure
to play.
that say. I mean, I had it happen to me last week in tennis. I mean, to your point, we're playing with the red balls. They're playing their short court, so they're pretty close. Kid just for whatever reason, they're having middle of a rally. Kid decides he's going to smoke one. He just pulls his racket back and smokes it, hits the girl right in the chest, and she with a red ball, and she laughs.
Yeah, that's great.
Right? Can you imagine what would happen with a regular hard tennis ball if that would have
No
happened?
laughing.
Yeah.
No laughing.
So safety is when you're learning skills, safety is got to be one of the utmost important things you do.
Yeah, I
Last thing
quit
I want to
baseball
mention.
for that reason. I was afraid of the ball. That when I was
Totally.
11, I was afraid of the ball.
Yeah.
Not that the world misses me in the baseball realm, but that's all right. Okay, so that was 5. We got one more, and I'm
All
excited about
right.
this one.
So another one, I'll purposely finish with this because they not only make baseballs and softballs, they make all kind of football, soccer balls, basketballs. I think they have rugby, but the charge ball. So there's been lots of glow in the dark stuff come out. The charge ball, in my opinion, is by far the best. It's a great time of year to get the charge ball. It gets dark early, so those nights you're out there in the backyard, like in the summer when it's here in Atlanta, it's light till 9 o'clock. Now it's getting dark at 5 or 5:30. Bring out your glow in the dark charge ball. Couple things I like about this. One, it works really, really well. Comes in a bag, so you have this little bag that you just simply hook up with a USB port, and you put the ball in the bag, zip it up, and within a few hours, it's ready to go. Works really well, and also is a real. I'm speaking for baseball.
Mm.
Is a real baseball. It has seams. It's leather material. It's not one of these plasticky type gimmicks. It's a real baseball that glows in the dark. Um, it's cool. It's fun. It definitely makes the nighttime a lot more fun. You're out
Mm.
there, you're throwing the ball, you're playing catch. It really enhances your hand-eye coordination, your senses around you. It's not as easy as you think to go out and catch a ball in pitch dark that's glowing and nothing around you is lit up. It's kind of scary, honestly, especially for me who has a 13-year-old who can throw the ball pretty hard now.
There's no reference for depth. Yeah.
Yeah, so it really enhances your depth perception for sure. But it's super fun. It great gift idea.
Hmm.
Gets dark earlier and just a really cool thing. The kids love it. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm like, when my kids, how old can I buy one of these? Can I buy one now? It looks like a lot of fun. And some of these things, it's one thing to say, hey, I've got this cool training thing that's gonna make you better at X. It's another thing to say, it glows in the dark. Let's go play. Like that's
yeah.
so much better for the kids. It's great.
Yeah. So again, just sort of in summary, giving the listeners out there a lot to think about, a lot to digest. Hopefully, there's a ton of information out there. I know people on Amazon daily, so there's a ton of gift information out there. I just hope I pick my 6 of my favorites. There may be others, but I just want to help everybody and kind of trim down all the chaos because there's so much information out there. And I hope this little gift guide that we did helps people put them in a better direction to get the thing that their kids need.
I'm sure it will. Ben, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This has been Youth Sports Talk with Coach Ben Hestley. Thank you, sir. We'll see you next week.
All right. Happy gift hunting, everybody.